got you covered. Yes, ma'am. We just want you to enjoy. We got you. You ready? Yeah. Okay. Welcome to session 2, where we have green training as a catalyst for reducing recidivism with Jessica Lewis, the CEO of Mobile Enterprises. We're very excited to have Ms. Lewis with us presenting. Give you a little background of Ms. Lewis. She was born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, moved to Macon, Georgia in 2014, and as a result of work relocation. Jessica has a Bachelor of Science in Psychology and a Master's in Business Management, which gives her the people and business skills necessary to help entrepreneurs like herself get their businesses up and running and thriving long term. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire bio because you will read it, but I can just tell you, by professionally working with Ms. Lewis, this is a passion for her of working inside and outside the gate with offenders. She has established a really well-known reputation in the entrepreneurship field as well as in the community, and she is all about that social justice and ensuring and making sure that those vulnerable populations have an opportunity to succeed through green construction. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce you to Ms. Jessica Lewis. And hold on that clap. Hold that clap for a second. Hold that clap. When we're done, make sure you do that evaluation and stay for the end for the treat. Now you may clap for Ms. Jessica Lewis. Thank you.
Thank you, Chandra.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much. Chandra is so awesome, and I'm grateful to be here today. This is actually probably my 3rd or 4th presentation on this topic, working with you all. So I thank the organizers again for inviting me out. Today's session is on green training to reduce recidivism. So what all does that mean? I teach green construction. I'm a builder. I actually build beautiful things out of shipping containers. And so what I would like to see happen in our training world for our previously incarcerated and currently incarcerated people, I'll tell you about the currently shortly, but we hope to give them new skills, emerging skills that are highly sought after so that they can make more money, and that can at least solve one of their problems with reducing recidivism, because we already know why they get locked up sometimes. They're out trying to hustle for money, and we want to remove those barriers. So green construction is one of those fields that can help them do that. So who am I? I'm Jessica Lewis of Mobile Enterprises, and I have a business partner. His name is Ibrahim Smith. Both he and I have been in the construction trade with combined experience of over 60 years amongst our entire team. So we have 40 people on our team plus he and I, and we build all over the country, and we're now emerging into some international markets. One of our main goals for our company is to bridge the gap between Africa and America, being able to bring the 2 continents together through this process. I've been in this industry specifically for the last 5 years. I love everything that's green. So as you guys see, y'all don't have any paper from my company, but they will electronically send this over to you guys afterwards, because we're a green construction company. We're very big on reducing climate issues, pollution, and everything in between. So this is why you guys did not get anything physically as a copy, but they are going to email this afterwards. Now, you're also probably wondering who is my company, Mobile Enterprises. MOBU actually stands for Modular Building Units. So a lot of people don't know. It's not the fanciest of names. However, it actually has a meaning. And so to speak about that a little bit, what Chandra is helping us do is we will be one of the first green construction manufacturing plants, not just in GDC, but be certified as a federal program here in the United States. She's helping us through her PI program do that. So we'll be helping the women at Lee Arundel Prison learn green construction trades. They can literally ride around and say, I built that house. So we're excited to be able to bring that opportunity there. So when we launch that program, you definitely will hear about it, because they want to brag on it, because it's the first of its kind. So I hope to have that probably by the end of the year, if not the beginning of next year, as we complete our certification process. And so here's some other things that people like about us too. we'll put that all up here. So this top right, we do have a real estate development masterclass. I'm very big on education. So for general knowledge, people who want to understand real estate, they go through our real estate development masterclass. We do have one of 3 books out now. This was our first one where we actually taught people how to become a federally registered apprenticeship program. So let's just say you all were employers and you wanted to find a way to increase your workforce but also grow your business. We help people do that through apprenticeship programs. At the top is an example of one of the buildings that we built. It's a tiny home, so many of y'all may have seen some tiny home shows. You may have even been in a tiny home, aka your apartment. So that is one of the projects that we have. We're also coming out at the top right there with a token. We'll have our own currency at our construction company. So when people buy from us and people interact with us, they'll be able to find a new way to do it through our coin. We created the Green Building Apprenticeship Program to help people get into the lowest barrier jobs in green construction, but also getting the skill sets they need to go work wherever they want. So our apprenticeship programs, when someone finishes ours, 2 years later, they actually are gifted an LLC and they can go work wherever they want. So we're not designing our program for them to work for us forever. However, we do want to give them all the skills and they get that through the construction training. And lastly, the last picture down on the end is one of our partners. We have a partner that actually provides clean water throughout the world. And so he actually builds them inside of shipping containers because that's how he can protect his idea. He went to Flint, he went to Puerto Rico, Mississippi, all these places that had toxic water. And when he just had his machine out, people would break the machines on purpose because obviously they didn't want to fix that problem. So we now build them inside of our shipping containers so they're protected and nobody can sabotage him trying to help these communities. So I just wanted to share that was just another way to use the shipping container within the projects.
So you know that guy?
Yes.
That made that?
Moses West, yes. So the Moses West Foundation, that's who makes those water machines there. And then last but not least, they like us a little bit. They gave us a couple of awards for the work that we do with our veteran population and me being a woman in business. Being in green construction, you don't see a lot of women, nevertheless black women. Mm-hmm. So they got excited. They said, oh, we need to give her an award. She's doing some great things. Mm-hmm. So we have received some awards for what we've done. And that's a little bit about our company. So let's go. Don't read none of those words. We're going to freestyle today. So for starters, green construction is one of those careers that, honestly speaking, can help you take your financial goals to another level. A lot of people are transforming or transferring to green construction just because of the fact that it can make them a lot more money. So I'm gonna give an example. Your traditional construction worker may make between $20 to $25 an hour. Green construction workers make $10 to $20 more. And so just an example, someone getting out of prison, if they decide to go work on somewhere where they're doing whatever, a laborer, for example, that's one of the titles they typically have. If they left the prison and worked on a traditional site, they may make between $15, $20 an hour. But if they came to work for a company like mine, because we have some other specialized skills that they're learning, they can make $10 to $20 more. So you're probably wondering why green construction, if nothing else, is the financial aspect of it. However, the other side to it is these particular careers are high growth careers, meaning if you don't want to work the same type of job for the rest of your life, it actually will allow for you to have career advancement, rapid career advancement, because there's always something new and emerging in green construction. So you definitely would need to learn more to be able to advance. And that's why green construction is important. Some other things from a corporate perspective, as an employer, we have to, as employers, start thinking about Mother Earth because, for instance, I'm in construction, but a lot of now corporate environments are starting to incorporate more social responsibility. So what that means is they're starting to look at more ways on how their company can have a greater impact in the community. It may come in the form of training, but it may also come in the form of how the community members are receiving that company. So an example, let's talk about GDC, DLC. Let me tell you a little bit of my background. I used to be a corrections officer. I was a drug and alcohol counselor. I was a physical therapist. Anything in human services, I ran therapeutic communities. So I know y'all job. So I'm not talking to y'all like I'm a random person off the street. I've worked many of the positions that y'all have worked, and this is also why partnering with GDC and DLC is important, because I worked in that and I know what was missing. And so from a GDC or DLC perspective, it's also looking at your impact on the inmates. So some of those, with the PI program in particular, allows for inmates to be able to make higher wages while they're physically currently incarcerated at a minimum of $7.25 an hour. So when I open my manufacturing plant in Lee Arundel, those women will start at $7.25 an hour, and they will have graduating wages over time. I did not choose this program because obviously they're not making the same amount of their counterparts that are out in the street, but it's a start considering that DLC and GDC does not offer any money at all to inmates while they're working. And so when we talk about social responsibility, the most perfect example is, as an employer, if I want someone who has a record working for me, how am I benefiting them as an employer? How also am I benefiting the community around me and my impact on that employee? So even within our training, we have mental health services for them. I know I was traumatized working in the prisons. I can't imagine living in them. And they also have connections to other social services. So if they need food stamps, if they need rental assistance, if they need all of that, they don't just work for us. If these people get out, they get to go home, continue to work for us, and we connect them to those social services that they may not have gotten, that they needed prior to being incarcerated, that could have helped them not go to jail. So we actually created a lot of resources and partnerships in our community, because socially it's my job, even though I no longer work in the prisons, to still make sure people don't go back to jail. It's my job.
Yes.
That's what God put me on earth.
Yes.
That's my purpose.
Yes.
And so when not to get emotional, when I look at somebody that's previously incarcerated, I know what their struggles are. And it's our duty as human service professionals, because I'm still in human services, even though I do construction. If y'all knew some of my customers, y'all understand. I'm still in human services. And so I have a duty to also make sure that people are getting proper services. So I don't want someone to leave Lee Arundel, for example, and continue to work for my company, and I didn't give them the support they need so they can physically, emotionally, and spiritually continue to grow outside of financially growing. So what good is money if you still have a broken heart? You're dealing with trauma. You got all these other things. So when I talk about green training is also social responsibility training, helping these individuals grow wholly as people so that they don't want to go and commit more crimes. Green training, that's how it looks like in my company. And to also share with you guys, I'm transparent when I get up here, guys. My dad and my brother are both doing life sentences. They both get to come home finally after 27 years for one and 32 for another. Ooh. So no one's going to give somebody locked up that long an opportunity. They didn't even want to give them services because they assumed they was never coming home, so they wouldn't let them get college degrees and all that stuff. That was just, and they're in Pennsylvania, by the way. And so they don't even allow any of that. So my job, if I never continue my growth as an individual and continue to work like how I work, I would not be able to give them resources to be successful so that they don't get locked up again. So this is why holistically this is important to me and what we do. Woo. Thank you. I didn't mean to get emotional and go to church from y'all.
Yes.
So, how does green training reduce recidivism? The number one thing is that it's introducing new community-oriented skills. So as I told you guys, I used to be a therapeutic community trainer. In that setting, you are your brother and sister keeper. A part of this training, when you're on a team, you have to learn to be self-accountable and accountable to your team. So green training, because it's a team effort, is going to teach them those skills. So when they go back home, they're not going to look, oh, that's my neighbor over there. No, that's my neighbor. Like almost like they're a part of that community. When people don't have that sense of belongingness, typically they're distracted and they're disconnected. So our goal with green training is to reduce recidivism by giving them training skills that helps them become a community member. The next thing is introducing our previously incarcerated to jobs that are trending upward. So construction in general will never go away. Buildings will always keep getting built. However, the pivot from traditional construction to green construction is happening very rapidly because we're running out of trees, firstly. But more importantly, it's becoming more costly to do traditional training in construction. So a lot of construction workers are going to pivot because they don't have a choice. Thankfully, we're already in the industry. We don't have to pivot. There's nowhere to pivot beyond green construction. So I'm already at the peak level that I can be at. I'm just going to grow my company based off of the upward trend, and anyone who works for us will be doing the same. Because things have to switch, they're already going to be making the wages. They're probably making more money than their counterparts just because they're in green construction. So because it's going upward, they'll have that increase as well. The next thing, it also allows for them to make higher wages. As we spoke of those examples before, quite naturally, they're making $10 to $20 more per hour in comparison to their counterparts who are in the same exact field but do traditional construction. And what's even greater, for people who are in green construction, the training cost is very low. So we do have some partnerships with Technical College Systems of Georgia, where they can go to school for no cost. We can't say free, no cost. But they'll actually be getting all that hands-on training, all the physical stuff that they need to learn. They'll go to school for free, but they also get paid to work for us while going to school. So now they can increase their education beyond what they will be doing with us, but they're also getting these certifications. And so when I said earlier, we're going to give them an LLC when they graduate, they can go work for whoever they want. And we've aided them in that. I don't believe in holding people hostage. Here, let me train you, go be great, and help as many people as you can. Just pay it forward. Another thing is it helps with their PI, means previously incarcerated, have opportunities for career growth. So even if they don't want to stay in construction, a lot of what we teach them, they can go wherever they want and learn and start a whole nother type of career, because our basic foundational things that they're learning put them in, and they can go into environmental services, like whatever you can think of. They can pivot even their career type if they don't want to stay in construction. Next, the training programs are in conjunction with their in-prison training. So I know for a fact that they already have certain types of certifications that they're receiving as incarcerated individuals. So everything we're doing is just in alignment to help them just grow when they get out. Now, employers who are interested in green training will have specialized skill sets and training that they're offering their staff. So a lot of times, if it's so specialized, now that person is the expert on the team, so why would you want to go work someplace else? Mm-hmm. You're almost like needed. So now, again, when we talk about sense of belongingness, if employers are being conscious of how they're training, they're creating specialists and experts on their team, and so that skill set will allow for them to grow as well, at least with that company. We'll do cross-training, of course. So our program, how it stands is that the ladies have certain skill sets that they already have. And so we're going to do cross-training, meaning if you know plumbing and she knows electric or she knows welding, y'all going to teach each other y'all different skills. That way you have, come on in. That's your husband. She's up here, dear. That's my brother, guys, sorry. And so we basically have it where they're training each other in a way so they can help and assist each other grow. I'm very big on being your sister and brother keeper. I would never be in a space where I know a little bit more than you and I'm going to hoard that information. I want to share it, and I'm going to encourage that in our company culture. Number 9, a community will benefit by receiving services that these previously incarcerated people once victimized. What better way to give back to your community than to build a house in it and then take it and you can see it installed and you can see that neighbor who once doubted you, and then you can say, you know, I just built that, right? And they're gonna look at you like you're crazy for a second, but it'll sit in eventually and they'll be grateful that you've changed your life. We wanna give them new opportunities, we wanna give them new chances. And then lastly, the community will be able to see the personal growth. One thing, the reason why we have a holistic approach to our training is because we want to make men into men and women into women. So if there are certain things that they may have missed previously, we want to make sure they have those tools now so that they can be successful. We want to make sure that y'all are proud when y'all see them out on the street. You say, you know what, you was terrible when you first got locked up. Look at you now. You know, we want to be able to then even brag because you all have a very positive influence on each inmate that y'all come in contact with. So they're watching you even as role models. Ladies, we got a hard job to do because if we're working with men and they don't respect their mamas and their aunties and their sisters and they don't respect women, we have a reputation to uphold that at least they can respect us and we can give them a glare of hope on how women are to act. We already know there are environments from abuse to trauma to everything else. We have a special assignment to uphold as women. And for our men, they need y'all because they need positive influences. So if all they ever saw was their daddies being negative and doing negative things, they need to see those positive influences. And so this is why that holistic approach is very important, very. So those are the top 10 reasons. See, these are just some examples of green jobs. I'm not going to read each line, but the traditional construction positions that y'all are familiar with, but solar installation is an emerging career. Oh my gosh, these people can be making so much money just doing solar installation. First of all, it's highly specialized. The training is so rigorous, but I feel like if you can pass that test and become certified in solar installation, they literally can be making 6 figures a year. And these are some other jobs that give them 6 figures. Energy auditor, so you're probably like, what is that? Never heard of it before. But you actually, as homeowners or renters, you can call your electricity company and ask them for an energy audit, and they'll actually tell you how much your energy you're being used, what appliances are using it the most, and how to reduce your energy use. That's what an energy auditor is. So a person who becomes an energy auditor, they literally make 6 figures. And then you have the green plumbing and rainwater catchment. So you're probably like, what the heck is that? So you have gutters catch water. That's the simplest way that I can explain it. But a green plumber, they actually create systems that catch water so that that water can be reused. So you wouldn't probably drink your water coming out your gutters, but there's filtration systems that can clean that water and make it reusable for general purposes. So someone that does that particular job, another 6-figure job. And these are some other things too. So they have LEED certification. LEED is an international symbol of sustainability. So you may see LEED when you're walking in certain buildings. That means it's certified. That means majority of that business's building and material is green. It's all sustainable. And so becoming LEED certified is a job that will allow for people to go into those same buildings and check off, it's a checklist. Oh, you use this on the drywall, you use this on the ceiling, you use this on the carpet. And their job is just to check off stuff, and they make 6 figures. And then you have building efficiency, even in how buildings are made. So we heard somebody say earlier it was cold. It is cold in here. You wanna know why? Because the insulation is so good in these walls that it's keeping the air in this room. And so building efficiency is also the way that you build. How efficient is it making all the systems within that building work properly? So at least we know they got good insulation in here, okay? So again, that's another 6-figure job. And so in general, when we're talking about green training, I would say the greatest barriers, according to research, is going to be race discrimination. It's going to be inadequate educational opportunities, insufficient or outdated skills, spotty or non-existing work history, undesirable physical appearance, drug addiction, health impairments, few soft skills, economically disadvantaged communities, and few are even available to return to work, maybe because of a disability. And then of course, the number one thing we're all here for is because of their criminal record. Mm-hmm. So because research says these are all the barriers that they'll have to fight against outside of even coming from a bad neighborhood, imagine how hard it would be for them to come in and try to get a regular job. So creating green jobs behind the wall and having partnerships with different organizations that can assist them before they come home will be very crucial to their success. The key for, I would say, a practitioner's approach, these are the approaches that I suggest. For one, kind of do a needs assessment. So as you guys as educators may come across people who you can talk to directly to understand their needs, maybe there are resources within your network that you're able to help them with. So if it's an educational thing, maybe they need to get into GED or take some trade skills. If it's going to be appearance, I don't know, but I know most places have barber and salons where at least somebody on the block can do hair, cut your hair. I already know contraband, I ain't gonna talk about that, but we know that they have certain skills or things that they may need to even prepare them. And I remember a few years ago, before the pandemic, before they switched some things up, I did ask that they come up with a program that will allow for them to get connected to employers before they left, maybe 30 to 60 days out. And I know that program has maybe been shut down or slowed down, but I think if you can help them now before they leave, it will be much better than sending them out and say, okay, go find a job now. Not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen unless they know somebody. And so I would say trying to address those barriers before they're released will help them significantly. I think the most important thing is number 3 here is identifying employer discrimination practices. Excuse me, so I'm very transparent. I don't care if my staff have backgrounds, that does not bother me, but certain things, because we work in school zones, we know we can't deal with certain sexual offenders. If it's financial stuff, we know we wouldn't have them around any money related things. So like just knowing enough about them to understand their background, to then help them heal in that space to where we can make them trustworthy. You know, whatever crime they committed is whatever they was convicted of, but that doesn't mean it has to be who they are. But a lot of employers, they just see, you've been locked up, I'm gonna treat you like this for the rest of your life. So we have to help them grow in that space. And then the question that I have here, is the employer a previously incarcerated abuser? So that's $7.25 an hour. To me, that's not enough money, but I already know the PI program is limiting me. They would be making more money if they could. However, there is people or employers out there that only hire them because, look, you gotta do what I say or you going back to jail. Like literally, that's what I've seen. I've worked in those environments. I even worked, when I was in this one drug and alcohol place, oh, they treated them people terrible. I said, y'all taking their food stamps, they live here, and you making them pay rent. It was just crazy. So, of course I told, don't worry, I'm a snitch. I told. And so, that's illegal as ever, okay? But those are, when you have a record, it's almost like you're in a box that they never let you out of. Number 4, can a previously incarcerated person address reasons for recidivism? Like, why does somebody keep getting locked up? If it's money, okay, it's beyond money. Maybe it's the thrill of not getting caught or even getting caught. Some people like to be locked up. Like, I've had people that said they live better in jail than they did at home. And so I'm just trying to understand them so you know how to help them. Number 5 is help your previously incarcerated identify future goals and plans. They're not quite the goal setting group of people, but some people do have things that they would like to do, and they do want to recover from their previous lifestyle. So what is it that they like to do, and how can you help them do that? And then last thing, I'm very big on therapeutic communities. My sister, my brother here, and I'm very big on helping and assisting people. Everybody will turn it to my sister and brother. They get tired of me. They're like, girl, Jessica, I don't need your help. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Or they at least know that they can count on me if they needed something, just like I can count on them. And therapeutic communities, I felt like was the most beautiful thing that I could have run, to be able to see men helping each other the way that they were helping them. I didn't work with women at that time. And just to see their growth, to get letters saying, Miss Jessica, I just had a baby, I just bought a house, I now have a job. Like, to see that, I knew it was not all because of me, it was really because the men, and they're encouraging each other to do better. So while that may not be something you can always see in these communities, I think it's helpful to at least be your brother and sister keeper. Don't let people self-destruct. So lots of benefits. I done said that the whole time, so we're not even gonna read this slide. But what I will say is, I think the biggest benefit of green training is helping people find a holistic approach to a new future self. From the business type, the training type, and as I mentioned, we have the mental health and other social services built into it. This here will be the greatest way for them to grow as a person and professionally. And you guys can take pictures of this, but don't forget, we are going to send the slides to you guys. And so my references for today as we close out, I like green training because I'm a green girl. Like, I recycle. I try not to keep the water on when I'm brushing my teeth, and I try not to throw stuff out the window when I clean other people's houses. When they don't want me cleaning, I'm like, don't throw it in there. This is fine. I take it with me. I take it with me. You know, my friends think I'm a little kooky, but I do it because climate change is real. That's why we got all this rain and the sun and all these natural disasters. All these things are going on. But at the same time, we're now can teach our population here a way that they can actually assist in climate change. So that's one of the biggest benefits. They don't even know how they're helping Mother Earth by creating these types of jobs. And so with that being said, I'll stop now and see if you all have any questions. Thank you. Yes.
Was he able to get that water machine fixed?
Yes.
Did he get it fixed?
And he has grown since then. That was during the pandemic. So that was in Flint where they broke that machine. So he asked the question of, was Mr. Moses West able to get his machine fixed? He had it in Flint, Michigan. That's one of the first like national news things that we saw where they was struggling with toxic water. But there actually are 736 communities just like Flint. And so he is progressively helping each one of those communities in a way that will allow for them to have access to clean water. And just a side note, if you guys don't know what your quality of your water is, just keep a filter in your house. Y'all would drive yourself crazy buying bottled water all day, every day. Just go buy a filter, save yourself a couple dollars, and you can have a filter. You can put it right on your sink, and you can now drink out of your sink if you wanted to. But thank you for that. Any other questions? I like y'all. Okay, wait, y'all scared? Okay, go ahead. Yes, please. And I'll go to her.
We're at McCray Grace Facility, and I heard you say y'all starting a program at Riernet, and we are going to do the diagnostic at that's taking over Riernet. So I was wondering, will that program follow it?
Yes, Chandra can answer that better because she's actually the executive director over PI, and she's helping us with Lee Arundel. So she can answer that a little bit better, but I believe so. And before you answer her question, we'll go to her question right quick, and then I'll let Chandra answer that for you.
So how do we, I'm just playing, how do we, we're in the wrong profession. So how many, well, I guess Melissa can answer that too. How many facilities are you in now?
So I'm in no facilities.
Okay.
Lee Arundel will be our first facility. The end goal is to be in multiple facilities. So currently we're just building the container homes, but we're going to move towards other types of manufacturing because as the water machine, there is so many uses for the shipping container, and we just want to focus on the housing piece for that location, and we're also wanting to take it nationally as well. The goal behind it is so that we can make sure PI is in as many prisons as possible, because right now, if in Georgia no one's making any money from all the stuff that they're building for us, we need to at least get one program going where they can see the success, and then we'll be able to expand it to others. Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm over the programs, so whenever you come to a new facility, are y'all gonna be contracted through the GDC, or are we gonna be single contracted through the state facility?
I think a lot of these questions for Chandra. Come on up, Chandra. So Chandra is the PI expert. I wish I could speak eloquently about it, but I'm just following her lead. She's helping us, so I'll let her come up and answer your question. So the first question was around McCray and McCray taking over Lee Arundel, and if that our program would move toward McCray once Lee Arundel has a transition.
Thank you, Jessica. I'm hearing expansion. That's what I'm hearing, expansion. So just let me back up a little bit about PI. PI is the Prison Industry Enhancement Certification Program. I have a table downstairs, and I'm also speaking at 3 o'clock, and I can give a little bit more information about that. We are on the Georgia correctional industry side. See, GCI, what do you think about when you think about GCI? Furniture. Inmates. Right? So the Prison Industry Enhancement Certification Program, otherwise known as PI, is a certified program from the federal government, and it is required by law. Did y'all hear what I just said? Okay. It's required by law. It is a federal program. We have a federal law and we have a state statute. The commissioner, Mr. Oliver, is required to offer PI. We have already 10 PI programs out there, and you can come down, I'll tell you some more about that. But I want to talk about the majority with this program right here. When I came on board back on March 1st, I was hired to expand PI. And with my programming experience and things of that nature, I had a good idea of how we can do that. But we needed partners who were willing to work with us. That's where Mobile came in. Actually, Mobile found us. Yeah, they found us, and then we've been rolling since then. But the program is designed to give those offenders an opportunity to earn prevailing wages that are approved by the Department of Labor. That's why we start off at $7.25, and they earn based on their training, the hours of training. They have a savings account, a mandatory savings account. They pay room and board. And you know the beauty of this, and this is real. This is my marketing pitch for getting more companies too. They also give back to the communities they left sober. 10% of their gross wages automatically comes out of their account and goes back to the victims.
Oh, wow.
So when we partner with Mobile, who is your charitable organization?
So lucky for us, we already have a 501c3.
Okay.
And so our 501c3 focuses on previously incarcerated, veteran, as well as immigrant population training, reconstruction training. So we help them learn these skills, we help them start their business, and we support them in that business, because eventually we're going to move towards actual franchise in our company, and we want them to have first right of refusal. So anyone that goes to our training, they actually may become a franchise owner. They definitely won't be a business owner, but we'll also help them become a franchise owner for our company, because they know everything we do from start to finish, because we train them. And so why not start your own business? Again, we want you to go be great. Don't stay with us forever. We don't like y'all like that. Leave. Go be great. Go make money with as many people as we can help you make money with. And that's why the training will help them do that.
Thank you. I asked that question because when we expand, we're my programs that are looking to expand, and we're looking for the right offenders to work with these companies. They sign that they are required. It's a volunteer program that you are volunteering to give a percentage of your wage to the company charitable organization. So now they are behind the gates, adding and giving back to their communities, and they're giving back to the communities that they left sober. Isn't that amazing?
Yes,
And see,
yes.
this been going on since the 1960s, this program.
Oh, wow.
Oh, did you hear what
Oh,
I said? The 1960s. So yeah, that's right. So when they hired me, I don't want to get all into it. This is Jessica's presentation. But you see me downstairs, and I speak at 3:00 today. Marry the process, divorce the outcome.
Woo! Yes.
That's
Yeah,
it.
another question?
We had a question. Just
Go for it.
So, the concept for the facilities, correctional facilities,
Mhm.
gonna be kind of like the concept for transition centers, where they're gonna be getting paid to work or paying. a percentage?
correct. And what I wanted to add to Jessica is we are at Lee Arendelle, but we're looking at long-term offenders.
Okay.
So when they get into that program, they have a minimum of 2 years left, right? And they know they're gonna transition out. So they are getting all the skills, all the wraparound before, and then Ms. Jessica will hire them when they get out. They'll
Yes.
potentially have a great opportunity to get hired.
We hired them, listen, when they get
Yeah.
out, they gonna keep working for us.
That's what I tell you, if any company
Listen.
comes to partner with Pi, this is not a free labor company. I mean, free labor opportunity. You're not just about to come over here and just get inmate work. What's the outcome? What are your goals? And her company just matched what we're looking for. And she came to us though. She came to us. So I was grateful.
Thank you.
You welcome.
You have another question?
Yes.
Yes, since it hasn't expanded into the other facilities yet, how can some of the vendors get in touch with you and this company, once they're released?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So for one, they can reach me directly, any of these ways. So the email comes straight to my phone, text comes straight to my phone, the calls come straight to my phone. I don't have an assistant because I don't want to do business with everybody. And so I'm just being very transparent, y'all. I'm very picky. Our company is very energy driven, and we want to make sure we have the right partners, right staff, right everything. So they have to go through me. So to answer your question, if they reach me directly, I will have a whole conversation with them. My little spidey senses may be spidey sensing something, and I may or may not work with them. I'm just being honest. We want to grow our business in a very positive space. We want our people that work for us to feel safe when they work for us and know we have them protected. When we invite partners to partner with us, like it's a whole ordeal. But I want to work with as many companies as possible. But I also have to be conscious because people have ulterior motives, and we do not want them to infiltrate what we have going on with our company's culture. So very important. Any other questions?
Yes.
So who were the other companies that partner
Yeah.
with Pi that I was interested in?
Good question. So right now you'll see we have 10 active Pi programs going, and right now those projects are determined by like a customer model, which means you going into like Home Depot to purchase something. So if you need something done in that industry or under that manufacturer, we will have inmates there to work, and it will be under Pi because you're a private sector. But I didn't. Next, my job was to expand Pi so it can be consistent work. You follow what I'm saying? Remember, you may go to Walmart one day, you may go to Sam's another day. That's similar to Pi, the ones we have already certified. This customer may come one day, but they not a continuous customer. So mobile will offer continuous work. This will be the second one within Pi. The first one is the packaging plant at Lee Arendelle, where all offenders get packages once a month or once a quarter. We have a contract with Union Supply, and those ladies there earn a lot of money. We just actually closed out calendar year 2022. Gross wages over $250,000.
Wow.
I plan to double that though with mobile. I plan to double it with another green construction job we have coming on board. That's going to be at Telfair, where these gentlemen will be making innkeepers for a manufacturing company, and those innkeepers actually keep the energy inside gazebos, sunrooms, and carports. They will make those from scratch. And the only thing that this gentleman is waiting for is to push his button on his website. If you push it now, he has no manpower, but we give him manpower. You see, we give him manpower. Yeah, yeah.
So I would say that PI program benefits employers just as much because from a growth perspective, it may be hard to hire
Correct.
out on the street, but even with, they're very picky on who they allow to work for us. Like, they have to go through a whole vetting process.
Correct.
Certain amount of, they are not allowed write-ups, like, it's a lot that they go through. So if we are preparing them this way, they will be successful out on the street.
Correct.
Cause this hiring process is like, I was like, I don't think I worked that hard to get my job.
Yeah.
But the reality is, these are the things they would need to learn, you know,
Mhm.
so they can go home and be successful. So from an employer perspective, outside of just the manpower, Changer is doing our payroll for us. So I don't have to hire HR, you know.
Workers' comp.
Workers' comp, like all those things, we don't have to do. Even the security oversight is done by staff that work at Lee Arundel. So I don't have to even take on that responsibility. Those are things that were provided to us to make sure that we're successful. And I understand from a contraband and just safety perspective, I know. So even from that perspective, they're doing so much for us as employers. So if you know someone who wants to open up a program, tell them to talk to Chandra.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
she
you
will
need to be a
help.
private business.
Private business.
Private
yes.
business.
I have a
She has a
question. You
question.
said once they're released, they continue to work with you?
Yes.
So how many locations in Georgia? I know you have the manufacturing plant near Lee Arundel, but where else are you in Georgia? Because you know, a lot of our population goes towards the Atlanta area
Yeah.
and different things like that. So do you have locations available in
Yes.
that area for them?
Yeah, so currently our business, this will be our first manufacturing plant. We build on site right now everywhere. Yeah, so they'll continue to work on site. So that build inside the plant, that's just one part of our construction process. We still have to go install that and make sure the customer likes it and get it up to par for the customer to go live in it or work in it. So we always have something for them to do. We do a lot of international projects. We'll work on making sure that if they need a passport, they'll get their passport. I know how to get all that stuff done. People with records can get passports. And so we actually will allow them to keep working on site with us outside of the prison. So that's where the continuum of work goes. They will work with us outside of the prison walls too.
How do you go about identifying that from each facility?
Very good
The
question.
34 facilities, how do
Yeah.
you go about identifying?
Yes.
There's a policy out there, 409.15, Unpowered DMS. That policy facilitates to you without the program. I need you. Let me just put it out. I'm not identifying them. I need you based on that criteria that's out there and understanding that this is a real life work experience. So that's my job right now is I call the boots on the ground. That's why we're here. That's why I'm kind of everywhere, just to give that information out, share what's been hidden for so long, and then ask you for your support. Ask you for your support. Yeah, so that's a great question. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay.
What y'all
that's
think?
Awesome.
Hey, I like
Thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you very much.
Very grateful. Thank y'all for being here.
Don't forget the evaluation.
Yes.
And I think she about to do her giveaway.
Yeah. I got a giveaway. Did you guys do your professionals do your evaluation?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Now, I have a giveaway. I have 2 giveaways, and this is how I did it. I asked you to sign this list. I gave a number by each name. I go into the my computer or my phone.
I have it up here too, so they don't think you cheating.
Yes.
All right, I'll click it up here.
What's 27?
27. Okay. So that way y'all can see it in action.
Yes. Let's get it.
And I promise I'm not in it with Chandra.
Generate 26. Eugene Gordon. Thank you. See me in the back. You have a gift.
Oh.
Yes. And one more.
Okay.
12. Therese Robertson. Y'all be blessed. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
All right. That's it.